The next one's from Adj Grokut. This is a weird. I've never.
Yeah,
that's the weirdest name. ADGE is his first name.
He's been on.
Do you know who this is?
He's been on here a few times recently, and I believe he did a roundtable within like the last
he did?
month.
That's
or
a weird
like
name.
That. Yeah.
The subject is Coon WCW booking ideas. Oh, that and the Coon is spelled with a K. Okay, it's Matt Coons. So we're not mixed it right yet. Okay, Coon WCW booking right here. Coon WCW booking ideas. Dusty. Hi K100 crew. Hope you're well during these uncertain times. The content being pumped out by the world's greatest producer. That's you want Kazoo that? K Dog and the Superior One has been off the charts lately. Value for money to say the least.
Agreed.
Will Mark Coon? Number one, will Mark Coon, he calls him Mark instead of Matt, be brought back on soon to see how his quote-unquote wrestling boom period, unquote, is working out? Considering most of his arguments based on the WWE stock price being so high, now it's in the shitter, it'd be interesting to see what his excuse is now. Number two, when you were in WCW in terms of booking, did it frustrate you that you weren't asked for ideas for main storyline ideas? Listening to you, Stevie Richards, and Just Incredible, wrestlers considered mid-cards seem to have better knowledge than those deemed top stars. Was everyone such a big Dusty Rhodes fan as they claim to be, or is it just people pretending to love him so that Cody will look favorably on them for work? Bischoff seems to be the worst culprit in this area, previously being less than complimentary about Dusty, but now, because he's out of work, he's posthumously sucking his you-know-what. I'm sure Dusty was great to a lot of us U.S. fans, but to me in '89, he was just a fat bloke in polka dots. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. And that's Oswald Cobblepot. Disco called me that last time. Adj Grokut.
Does it have heat with you that he compared you intellectually with Stevie Richards and Just Incredible?
Yeah, it's an insult. So Matt, we brought Matt Coon on, and Matt Coon, and I call these guys the fake experts because he was just a fan that basically started podcasting like Conrad did, but kind of like thought he was like given kind of like an expert opinion. And we brought him on the show, and he thought that the AEW, that wrestling was going to go in another boom period. And he was talking about the WWE stock price. And he said he was analyzing the factors and everything. And I was just telling him, you remember, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was
and I was like laughing at him, and then and obviously his boom period thing did not work out. So
can I ask you a question about him? So originally he was working with Russo, stopped working with Russo, right?
Yep.
Then he started his own podcast. Then something happened. He promised he'd never do another podcast again or something like that.
Started doing music.
Right?
Started doing music. He was such a mark. He started writing music for wrestlers.
And then he brought the podcast back, and then it's gone again.
Yeah.
So I guess. Yeah.
Well, bro, it's like I said. And that's why I like bringing the fanboy podcasters that think I like to bring them on to kind of not put them in their place, but they just don't know like the stuff like we do, And it's like it just shows the difference between the level of knowledge you get on this show and the level of knowledge you get on these other podcasts where the guys are just fans. He's a nice guy. I'm not going to say, but he was just wrong.
Because at the end of the day, what happens is it's just an opinion, right? And they weren't there,
Right.
Unless
they don't have the educated.
Right.
The opinion's not educated because they don't know how it works, So in terms of booking ideas in WCW, we did use some of our ideas sometimes. That wasn't that was a weird question. I don't know. Well,
maybe he doesn't know you were on the booking committee for a while, so you were giving main event storylines,
Right. Everybody. This guy didn't like Dusty Rhodes. You're obviously in the super minority. Everybody was a fan of Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, bro,
Dusty Rhodes was so good for his base of fans in NWA, like his everything, that you could put him in the discussion for the wrestling Mount Rushmore. That's how good Dusty Rhodes was, because he was a larger than life character, imitated. People imitate the way he talks. They imitate his, So he does.
He was the first wrestler that I actually became a fan of. That I used to watch TV just to watch him when I was small.
He was chubby.
Yeah.
He was a fat guy, but he fought like
charismatic, bro.
Fought like a tough guy.
Bro,
it's like he came across a tough guy. Yeah.
Super charismatic, incredible promos, right?
Yeah.
And bro, when he used to do the thing with the elbow to everybody and then the whole crowd would pop.
Yep.
Every time, that was incredible. Yeah, he says he saw Dusty when he was in Polka Dots. Okay, you need to see Dusty before then.
Absolutely. So watch Dusty against the Horsemen.
But
that's some of the best stuff ever.
I can see what he means though, because it sounds to me like we're in the same age group. So my first exposure to Dusty, except a little bit on TBS, was him coming into WWE with the polka dots. And
that's your exposure. But like if you lived in the South, bro, Dusty was like Ric Flair, bro. 1A and 1B. They were the two most charismatic guys, the two most over guys. They were gods, bro.
And if there's
one of the guys that influenced me to get in the business, if there's that good, I used to watch him in the Omni all the time. The guy could, bro. That's the thing. Like he knew how to get pops. You just watch his matches, and the crowd just popping and everything. There's a ton
let me
of pops,
put it. And let me tell you another thing, bro. I'm not very easily like mark out. But the very first time I saw Dusty, I did mark out because he reminded me of my childhood. And when somebody from your childhood, when you meet them, the feelings are a lot stronger because they've been there a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when I met him, I was like, whoa. And Scott Hall was actually the guy that got him to WCW. So he was a humongous fan of his. DDP was a humongous fan of his too. And like when he went to Impact and he was the booker there, were you there, DR, or had you already left?
I was there.
Yeah, all I ever did was just listen to him because he's fucking wealth of knowledge.